For today's card, I'm starting off with this piece of dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, and this measures 8 by 4, and I've gone ahead and scored it at 4 inches to give me a 4 and a 4 by 4 card. For the first layer, I'm going to start off by inking the edges with Colorbox Chestnut Roan ink, and I'm going to do this to all of my layers, all of the pattern paper layers. This is the image. This is the image that I colored with Copics. I'm going to go ahead and adhere the first layer, and this measures 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. I've also cut another layer of the dark chocolate cardstock, and this measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm placing that over this. I'm going to be placing this right here. And on top of this, I've cut out another piece of the same pattern paper, and this measures 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and I'm placing that over top here. The strip that I cut out measures 1 1/4 by 3 3/4, and I've used this My Favorite Things Dynamic mini scallop to cut out a border, as well as for the pattern paper. I'm going to place adhesive to my pattern paper and apply it to the dark chocolate cardstock. Now I'm going to place that in the middle of my card. So as I was applying the adhesive to my image here is when I noticed the brads, that I forgot to put the brads on my card. So I carefully pulled the paper back so that I could make the holes to put the brads in the corners. And that's what the first one looks like. And this is what it looks like with all 4 of them. Not that straight, but it will do. So now I'm going to start to layer my image. So I'm going to begin layering the image, and this is using the Petite Scallop Circles from Spellbinders. I cut it out of the same pattern paper. And for my last layer, I used the Spellbinders Big Scalloped Circles Large and cut it out using Orange Zest from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm going to adhere that onto the center of my card. And that looks fine right there. So this is the finished card on the outside. For the inside, I just decided to cut out a sheet of vintage cream from Paper Tray Ink, and this measures 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and I'm using the same stamp. I'm going to stamp it with Memento Rich Cocoa, and I'm not going to do any coloring. I just want to stamp it on the corner. And I was debating on whether to stamp the entire image or go off the edge a little. However, I decided to stamp the entire image. I'm going to use this set of stamps from Paper Tray Ink. It's called Gobble Gobble, and I'm only using the sentiments, 2 of the sentiments from this stamp set. And at first I wanted to stamp it in the center, but then I opted to place it here instead, which I think it looks better there. And the second stamp is just says Gobble Gobble, and I'm trying to decide whether I want it on the corners, but I opted for stamping it on top or above the image. And I actually like the way that turned out. I'm just inking the edges with Colorbox Chestnut Roan ink, and I'm applying adhesive and applying this to the inside of my card. And here's the completed card. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.